You look like someone with many questions. I can always tell.
And you look like someone with many answers.
Not answers exactly, but I do have stories. Will you walk with me?
Sure. Lead the way. So, where do you come from?
I come from a very small planet, or perhaps I come from a book. It depends on how you see it.
A book, you say?
Yes, my creator. He gave me life in words, like you give life to characters in your stories.
You are aware you are a creation? That's remarkable. Does it ever trouble you?
No, not really. Why should it? Being created means I have a purpose. My creator wrote me during a time of great uncertainty. War, exile, loss, he needed me, I think, just as much as the world needed someone to remind them about love, imagination, and seeing with their heart.
He needed you, and the world needed him. I suppose every writer's characters are born from something like that. A need, a wound even. We write to make sense of things, to leave behind the pieces of ourselves.
And what about you? Who needs you, James?
I think those who have been told they don't belong, those who have been silenced, ignored, erased. I write for them because I was them, and in some ways I still am.
Then you and my creator are not so different. He wrote me for a world that had forgotten how to see clearly. You write for a world that has forgotten how to listen.
Tell me about your time. What was it like being created in the middle of a war?
It was a strange time. My creator was far from home, just like you are now. He was in America, but his heart was still in France. He missed the stars above his desert and the sound of the mistral winds. He told me once that everything beautiful feels fragile during a war, as if it could disappear at any moment. Maybe that's why he wrote me, to remember the things that couldn't be destroyed, the kindness, the love, the wonder.
I understand that feeling. Exile sharpens the senses. When I left America for Paris, I thought I was escaping its ugliness, but instead, I found myself seeing it even more clearly. The way the world treats those who are different because of their skin, their voice, their way of loving. It doesn't change just because you cross an ocean.
So you write to fight that ugliness?
I write to show the beauty in the people they call ugly, to show they are human, and that their humanity is just as vast and luminous as the stars you talk about.
My creator said something similar. He told me that what is essential is invisible to the eye. Maybe that's what you are doing, helping people see what's essential, even when the world tries to hide it.
You have a way of making things sound so simple, don't you?
Maybe grown-ups make things too complicated. Do you think the world will ever change, James?
I think it's always changing, but not always in ways we notice. Change is slow, sometimes painfully so. But I've seen moments like tiny miracles where people choose to be better, to love more, to stand up for each other. I hold on to those moments.
You know, On my planet, I care for a rose. She's fragile and sometimes difficult, but I love her. I think the world is like that rose. Fragile, difficult, but worth caring for.
I like that. A fragile rose, worth caring for. Maybe that's what writers do. We water the rose even when the world forgets it's there.
And even when you can't see it growing, it still blooms, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Your creator, he must have been quite a man to imagine someone like you.
He was, but he was also a man full of contradictions. He loved the skies, but he was always crashing his planes. He loved people, but he spent so much time alone. He wrote about finding home, but he never seemed to belong anywhere.
A man torn between worlds. That I can understand. Tell me more about him. What kind of life did he lead?
He was a pilot first. He used to say the flying taught him to see the world differently, that from above all the lines we draw between countries disappear, and you realize how small and fragile everything really is. He loved that feeling of freedom, of being above it all, but it also made him restless. He was always searching for something, though I don't think he ever knew what it was.
Searching. Sounds familiar. Was he happy, do you think?
I think happiness was like a sand dune to him, always shifting. He found joy in moments like the roar of his plane's engine or the glow of a sunrise over the desert, but he was also haunted by the world. He couldn't ignore its suffering, its violence. During the war, he wrote letters begging people to remember the humanity. He wanted them to see each other, like I see my rose, as something fragile, but worth protecting.
A man who wrote letters to humanity in the middle of war. That says something about his courage. But why the desert? What was it about that place that called to him?
Oh, the desert. He loved it because it was silent. He said that in the desert you can hear things you can't hear anywhere else, like the sound of your own heart. He once crashed there. He told me the sand stretched forever, like the ocean. It was there that he started to imagine me. He realized that even in the emptiest places, there is beauty, but only if you look closely.
So, you came from his silence, from the space he found in himself when there was nothing else left.
Yes, he created me to remind himself and others that what's invisible is often the most important. Things like love, friendship, and wonder. But I think he also made me because he was lonely. He needed someone to ask him questions like the ones I ask you now.
Did he ever find what he was looking for, your creator? Did the questions ever stop for him?
Not really. He was always caught between wanting to soar above the world and wanting to be part of it. He loved the skies, but he also loved people deeply. He wanted to protect them, to warn them about the dangers of forgetting their humanity. But war broke his heart. He couldn't understand how people could destroy each other, and he felt powerless to stop it.
Powerlessness. That can be a hard thing to carry.
He carried it in his own way. He wrote, he flew, he fought, but I think he was always a little sad, like he was running out of time. He disappeared during the war. You know, his plane never came back. And maybe that's what he wanted, to disappear into the stars he loved so much.
And yet, he left you behind a part of himself that couldn't disappear. You are his legacy, little one.
I suppose I am, but I'm also more than that. I don't just belong to him anymore. I belong to everyone who reads my story and remembers what he wanted them to see.
That's the beauty of creation. Once it's out in the world, it stops belonging just to you. It lives its own life, touching people in ways you never imagined.
Do you think that's enough? To leave something behind, even if you can't stay to see it grow?
Yes, I think it has to be.
You know, you seem at home here, in Paris, I mean.
At home? No, not quite. But I do feel freer than I've felt in most places.
Freer from what?
From the weight of being seen a certain way. Back in America, I couldn't walk down the street without being reminded that I was black man first, a writer second, and a human being somewhere far down the list. Here in Paris, people still see me, but they don't see me the same way. It's like I've been given space to just be.
Isn't it strange, though, that you have to cross an ocean to feel like yourself?
It is, but sometimes you need the distance to see things clearly. Back home, the air was so thick with history, centuries of pain, of lies, of people refusing to see each other. It's hard to breathe that kind of air. I had to live to understand the truth of it all.
And what truth did you find?
That the hate I ran from wasn't mine to carry. That it didn't define me, even if the world tried to make it so. And that love, real love, the kind that sees you fully, is the only thing strong enough to fight hate.
My creator used to say that love is what makes a rose worth protecting, even with all its thorns. Do you think that's true?
I do, but love isn't always gentle, you know. Sometimes it's fierce, sometimes it's a struggle. When you love people, truly love them, you can't just stand by and watch them be destroyed. You have to fight for them, even if it hurts, even if it costs you something.
Has it cost you much?
At times, it's cost me everything. Friends, safety, peace of mind. There are moments when I have felt like I was shouting into an empty room, trying to make people understand things they didn't want to see. But then, there are other moments when someone tells me that my words made them feel less alone. And that makes it worth it.
You remind me of a lamplighter I once met. He kept lighting his lamp every night, even though no one seemed to notice. He said it was his duty. I think he would have liked you.
A lamplighter. I suppose that's one way to put it. Writing does feel like lighting lamps sometimes, one by one, in the dark, hoping someone will see them.
Do you think you'll ever go back, James? To America, I mean.
I've gone back before, and I go back again someday. As much as it hurts, it's still home. But home is complicated. It's not just a place, it's the people, the memories, the things that shaped you. And for better or worse, America shaped me.
Do you think a place can love you back?
A place? No. But the people in it can. And that's what keeps me going back. My family, my friends, the people fighting to make it better, they are the ones who remind me that there's still hope, that there's still something worth saving.
My creator used to say that the stars are beautiful because of the relationships between them. Maybe it's the same with people. Maybe a place is only as beautiful as the connections we make in it.
That's a lovely thought, little one. And maybe it's true. But America has so many broken connections, so much history that hasn't been mended. It's hard to see the beauty in a place when so much of it feels fractured.
But even a cracked rose can bloom, can't it?
I suppose it can, if someone takes care of it.
Do you ever think about the people who will read your words long after you are gone?
I do, but not in the way you might think. I don't write to be remembered. I write to make others feel seen. If someone reads my words 100 years from now and feels understood, feels less alone, that's enough for me.
My creator said something similar. He told me that even if no one remembers them, they'll remember the stars I talked about, because the stars belong to everyone.
And words belong to everyone too. Once you put them out into the world, they are no longer just yours. They are part of something bigger.
Like a constellation.
Exactly.
James, are you ever afraid of what you write, I mean?
Afraid? All the time. Writing is like standing naked in front of the world, hoping they'll see you for who you are and not tear you apart. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing the thing anyway, even when you're terrified.
You're very brave, James.
I don't know about that, but I do know that if I don't write, I can't breathe. And so I write, fear and all. And maybe that's the point, to protect what's inside, even when the world tries to break it.
I think your fear makes your words stronger. Like a rose's thorns, they protect what's inside.
Thank you for this walk, little one. You had given me a lot to think about.
And you've reminded me that even cracked roses can bloom. I think this is where we part ways for now. But don't worry, James. Your words will bloom, even when you are not there to see them.
And your stars will keep shining, little one.